What's up, Matt?
What's up, Rick? How's it going?
It's good, buddy. Hey, we were just talking about music, little known facts before the podcast started. And did you know that my grandfather was in a band called the Billy Mayo Quintet, and they had the #1 song in 1949?
Is this a setup for a joke?
It's really not. I know. Matt's paranoid. Everything I say now, he thinks I'm setting him up for a dad joke.
Every time. No, I did not know that.
No, I didn't. Should I? Should I go there? No, I mean, that's for real. So
what was it called?
The Billy Mayo Quintet. It was like, the big band music.
Big in Sheboygan.
Huge
in Sheboygan.
The #1 hit, 1949. It's like something silly, like I wish I had got a dog for Christmas or something. But it's like he played the clarinet. I have his old clarinet.
Do you play it on Christmas?
I do. I'm very good at
it.
At the skin flute. No, not skin flute. That's not it. Sorry, pardon me on that. What's the flute that what's his name played in Anchorman? Yeah, canceled. What's the flute that he played in Anchorman?
Jazz flute?
No, remember he gets up and does the jazzy flute thing?
Yeah.
That's me with the clarinet. So anyway, okay. A little musical talent in the family. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
That one's real.
So you're a break dancer, and you got
yeah. I mean,
you guys can do it all.
You know what? Like I couldn't play an instrument, but I could break dance like a baller.
Yeah,
so,
we heard.
I know.
We have that on
free pizza at Chuck E. Cheese's every Friday night when I was in 8th grade. My breakdance crew was slaying people.
So do you have a dad joke this week?
I could probably make. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So this older couple is sitting in church, and the lady leans over to the man and she whispers, "I just let out one of those silent farts. What should I do?" And the man says, "You should get your hearing aid checked."
Why is it always about farts?
I don't know. They're funny. I have a 6th grade sense of humor.
I was sad. I was on just a little golf trip this weekend with like 8 dudes around 35 to 40. And one of them used your joke from the butt cheek joke.
Did he listen to the podcast?
No.
Or he had heard it on his own?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great guy. I mean, what a smart human being. You hang out with a good crew, I can tell you right now. Your friends are solid individuals.
Yes.
All right, now that we're through the ridiculousness, because Matt and I don't get to catch up. We're both busy, so literally we spend the first 5 minutes just talking shit to each other because we don't get to catch up much. But we do have a serious subject that we'd like to share with you guys today, and that is marketing, and more specifically, marketing calendars. Why are they important? What should you put on them? What do we use them for at Alloy? And just all things marketing calendar and why they're important. And Matt's going to help us break it down.
Sexy topic.
You know what? It's like the 20-mile march stuff. Like this is the stuff that makes your business work, by the way.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And so a marketing calendar, yes, it's not the 5 steps to make, 6 figures in your first week of online personal training type of ad that you might get bombarded with on social media, but it is the stuff that will move the needle and continue to move the needle and keep you organized for the lifespan of your business, which if you're me is 30 years, a long time.
There's a long time.
Well, we've been doing some of the same things. Yeah, exactly. We did. We would have our marketing calendar chiseled into stone and delivered via Pony Express to the other club. But yeah, it's really important, and it does some of the things that are repetitive. Some of the same principles apply seriously 30 years later. So we're just going to walk through the overall structure. But I think first, like Matt, through your lens, since you're kind of head of our corporate clubs and customer experience and all the things you're doing at the club level, why do you think they're important? What would be one of the reasons why someone should have a marketing calendar?
That's just to keep organized. I mean, there's so many things you just forget. So if you don't have this, it's like, the month comes and miss this, miss that.
Yeah, that's it, 100%. I think it's the most important thing, like you said, is the organization. Meaning, if you want to run an internal fun challenge for engagement with your clients' members, and it's coming up in March, you have to start planning and putting things together in late January at the latest, maybe 6 weeks ahead, right? Yeah. And so just to get your ducks in a row, to make sure that you can market it correctly to the members so you get the type of engagement that your staff is coached up on how it works, why we're doing it, like all the details, right? Any of the moving parts and things that need to be built around it. It's not a lot, but it still takes organization and thought. Otherwise, March shows up and you're like, oh, crap, we were going to do this thing. And you either do it half-baked or you just skip it and you get to the next thing. So to your point, it takes major organization to just run like on-scheduled internal promos, much less.
Right.
And so, how do you lay this out, I guess is the question. And what we're going to do is describe, how we lay out our marketing calendar. And these are samples and things that we give to our franchisees as well.
Right.
And then we also provide the collateral. So a lot of the things we'll talk about, we might just say something like, hey, one of our rules is like 4 times a year, run some type of internal promo to your existing membership, right? And it might have some outside presence as well if it's like a bring a friend or something like that. But really, it's more of an engagement, and retention is our play. That's what we're great at. Mm-hmm. And so if we're running an engagement process of some sort 4 times a week, we're going to provide our franchisees with the framework, the collateral, the marketing materials, and everything to run those. So they live on our platform, and we're coaching them up about when those things should come about. And they're doing it on their own because we've coached them on how to use their marketing calendar, right?
Yep.
So let's talk about the calendar itself. So what do you have on there? Let's just go through the categories that we use.
So the categories, you want me to read them all off, or you want to just go one at a time?
Let's go one at a time.
All right. So the first one, we just, obvious internal marketing. What are we doing in the club?
Yeah. So great point. And there's obviously different types of marketing. Internal can be everything from, again, you're gonna do an internal challenge. You're gonna do an educational event. Just give us some examples of things that we've done in the past.
Internal, we always have going on the get spirit wear. So anytime somebody's wearing, alloy swag, right, they get their name in a bowl and get a chance for win a free workout. So that's always constantly running, which is also, guess what, external marketing, because they're going to go out in their community wearing their
yeah, great point. So
wearing their stuff.
And I hope that makes sense to you guys. So we have a fish bowl up front. People come in. If you wear your alloy gear to work out, you get your name in the hat. We do a drawing at the end of the month. We always do that month over month. And we love to see people in our gear. We'll reward them for that. And as you guys know, if they come to the gym in their gear, they're typically going to run a couple more errands or maybe a few before they get here, also wearing that gear. So it's like having a whole bunch of like walking billboards running around in your neighborhood. And guess what? They're shopping and participating and, again, getting into these communities with other like-minded individuals. So it's a really great form of marketing. And we, give them, again, a reward for doing it. So it's internal, but like you said, it's also external.
Yep. Next one we do is frequent sweaters. So that is championing people that visit our club a minimum 8 times in a month. So that helps with what you talked about earlier, retention, right? So we're making people feel good, make them kind of a goal to achieve, which also gets publicized, social media and things like that. So there is a little external on that too.
Mm-hmm. Look at me. And people love that just to make the list, right? And so
they get pissed if we like mess up and they don't get on like the billboard. They're like, wait, I counted. I know I had 8.
I know I had 8. No, you had 7. You slept in. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. So it's always good fun and banter, and also we have an automated rewards program. So any of our frequent sweaters actually get points towards their reward. So again, a lot of these things are intertwined that I'm sure you'll hear that on all these points. But yeah, all good points. So, okay.
Next one, big one, success story monthly that goes on the wall. So that kind of makes people feel good about what they're doing. Encouragement, again, retention shows that get reading that story, which is we've talked about is always not as much about the journey, just about how they feel and how it changed their lives. Which again also goes externally because we post it on social media and stuff.
Well, but it's also just important. I think it's important for your team, your existing members, and you to see the fruits of the labor that you're putting into market.
Feel good about what you're doing, right?
100%. I mean, and listen, passions only get you so far, but it will certainly help you do things with more conviction and more excitement. And understanding the end result of what you're doing in your community is very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then a big one we make sure we always do is supplements. Supplement, whether we are have a supplement of the month or if we have samples that we're going to be putting out. Just like anything, if you don't plan it, it won't happen and your team won't know about it. So this schedule it out, supplements. All right, we're doing samples Tuesdays and Thursdays, or whatever it may be, but we got to make sure that's on the calendar.
And the great thing about the calendar is that may be something that you need to do every month, and you can pick the date of the month or the week that you're going to do it or what have you. Mm-hmm. And then your whole staff knows and they can be prepared and run the play. If you just scattershot it, what will end up happening, and I've fallen victim to this in the past when we got away from our marketing schedule, is that you just do something, right? Because you think of it that week and you're like, oh, I'm going to put some samples out. And it goes really well, and then you forget. And then if I ask you if you did it every month, you would say yes. But if I really looked, it would be like every 4 or 5 months or twice a year. Yeah. So it has to be on your calendar.
We've all accountability to it. But that's, again, when we talk about it, it's like you got to have the calendar.
100%.
We did it last week. No,
No, that was April of 2019. So almost.
Remember those bars that we had?
Right. Remember when we had a shake thing once? That was awesome. We do that all the time. We're good at that.
Right.
Like, yeah, no, we're not.
Right. Other ones that you can do, we've done in the past, newsletters that go out once a month, educational articles, send something out. Internally, we do like recipes and things like that.
Right. And again, that's bandwidth that we give our franchisees by producing recipes and weekend warrior workouts and just all the things that just keep people engaged and also allows them. It's internal because we're putting it out to our constituency. We're sending out, newsletters a couple times a week and emails. But additionally, it also, again, internal and external, it allows us to align ourselves in our communities as a fitness expert, which is what we're supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything you want to add on the internal?
No, I think that's it. I mean, there's branding inside. Like we'll also advertise, and maybe this isn't advertising as much, but again, it's still marketing, which is our charity of the month. We can advertise what we're working on that month, and then we can also put the results of what we did the previous month. And again, our marketing partner, Causley, we did a whole podcast with those guys recently, or I don't know, a few months back. But essentially, it's a way for us to advertise that we give, but keep it from being too cheesy.
Right.
And so that's another internal promo because, again, all the collective, you guys, of all these things sounds like a lot. It's not. Every one of them is very minor, and it's something you could do and with almost no time or thought. But you won't do them unless you have them written down, period. Okay. And so that's the main point. But the collective of all these things is very powerful. That leads to 3%, churn rate, 97% retention. Sounds better, I guess. We'll align it that way. But all those things they're built for those reasons. So yeah, I think that's good. Let's go to external.
All right, external. This could be different for everybody depending on where you are. But the big thing we're always having to watch is like road signage. What dates that you can have it out there because there's certain places like little old men driving around and ripping your signs down.
Yeah, so and it's interesting. So just like banner on the road is another way to say it, right? And so every city is different. So I'll just give you an example. In our city, we're allowed to have an 8 foot by 4 foot, so 32 square feet banner on the road up to 40 days out of the year. And, inevitably when we have that up, we're on a busy street, right? So a lot of traffic stops in front of our shopping center. And so they're able to stop and see the sign. And we just keep it real simple, just as personal training, has a phone number and has our address or has our web address. So that keeps it really simple. So, but again, if we only have 40 days out of the year, which days are we going to pick? Who's going to go down and get the permit sticker from the city? All those things have to be handled and planned in advance.
Next one, we try to do this at least once a month, sometimes a little bit more spread out, is it just a cross promotion? Like try to cross promo with another business. Like we often use like our local shoe company around here just to join up, something like that, or the physical therapist or whatever it is.
Yep. So again, it's any and all things, right? And so this would be, we've done a whole playbook on these guerrilla marketing techniques and how to run this particular play, but it's finding a business has a light clientele, getting aligned with them and running a true cross promotion for 30 days. And again, it takes some organization to find the company to get all the creative done. Again, for you, once you do it once, for an alloy gym as an example, it's very easy to duplicate, but you still got to get out and meet the other owners and you're going to have to somewhat organize it for your end of the bargain as well as theirs, because all small business owners are busy. And if you're out there, creating cross promos, they're going to be very excited to participate. But I can just tell you, based on firsthand experience, they're not going to want to do a lot of work. And so you're going to just be ready to create the creative for both, which is very easy to do. We have templates for it already, and you can just like copy and paste.
Yep. Then we get into just more of the whatever marketing you're going to be doing, digital, mailers, things like that. Trying to determine like the bullets for cannonballs, figuring out what's working best in your market.
Right.
But that's always, probably needs to be ongoing for the most
and I
part.
think everybody in the fitness space does the digital ad spend, whether it's on Facebook, Google, Instagram, all of them, YouTube, whatever those things are, right? But you need to still have it in there. And if there's something else you want to try, what it's going to do is remind you, right, that campaign's going on. And sometimes you can tie those to something that's going on internal. I mean, there's a lot of ways to play it that we have organized on the franchise side for you. But for those guys that are listening that are not in the space, you still need to stay organized around your digital strategy, right? You don't just want to throw money at it each month over month and not really fully understand what you're getting back for a return on investment. If the ads need to be changed or tweaked, there's a lot that goes into it, as plenty of people listening know. But keep organized around that, so make sure that makes it onto your calendar as well.
And then a good one to have, just like cross promotional, is maybe do some events several times a year. Do your local 5K, get out, have a tent, something along that line.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many ideas for this, you guys. We've done warm-ups, like Matt said, for local 5K. We've done, in the summer, there's a little city that's nearby, and they have like Thursday night, they shut the streets down and do like a just, bar hopping where people just walk around. It's just kind of community. There's a lot of families there and stuff. So it's not necessarily like a, pub crawl or whatever, but there's a lot of people just having a great time, and you can set up a booth there and just do, we have like a portable pull-up bar. It's like, hey, can you do this many push-ups for a t-shirt? I mean, just fun things that friends will stop by the booth to do and challenge each other and have a good time. It's just a way, slapping back to some babies, getting your name out there.
So that's external. Anything else you want to add to that one?
No, I mean, again, you mentioned mailers, there's flyers. I mean, I think a lot of those things are more pre-sale related for us, and we have a whole seperate playbook for that and KPIs and everything that go with that. But I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay, cool. Other things that, going to come up, like our client building events, something, have going on, whether it's you do them quarterly or, every other month kind of thing, but just something like community building wise, right? So maybe this month we're going bowling, or, maybe we're doing a walk run at a brewery or something. Like we've done that.
No, it's 100%. I mean, any kind of like client, whatever your clientele or your customer avatar likes to do. Wine tasting, painting. We have men's night out, women's night out, right? These are just client engagement events that we host and just get clients together outside the gym to have a good time. I mean, we have a very small tribe of folks in our model. It lends itself to getting along really well. So having these events is usually pretty impactful. And, one of these a quarter is plenty, maybe even a couple times a year, just depends on the engagement of your group. But we find those to be super compelling, and that's for the clients, right? And you can also do these, like we have another category. We don't always do it, but we have one for staff as well. So same thing, like if you want to take your staff bowling or do a night of like that whirly ball, like the bumper car things, or go out to eat, or anything like that as a staff building event or a Christmas party, it still takes planning. So it should make it. We do have a category on the calendar called team building, and then we've got client building, right? Client event or team event. And the team building one, it might be blank, all but 2 months out of the year. But go ahead, and when you're looking, by the way, we didn't talk about this. This is something that you want to sit down and at least build a framework for it. Probably in December for the following year, maybe even a little earlier. So start around the holidays planning for your next year. That way you can go back to the well for anything that worked well, right? You can scrap things that didn't. But build a framework for the following year, and keep in mind it's probably going to change a little bit, but at least it gives you something. You're heading towards the right direction, even if that direction ends up in a little bit of a different place. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So that way you can plan out when you're going to have any kind of like staff events, team parties, anything like that as well.
Yeah. And then another one, just holidays. Obviously there's holidays all throughout the year, and this could go in internal, external marketing, whatever you're doing. A lot of internal things we do around holidays, whether Valentine's Day, bring a spouse free workout or whatever it may be.
Right.
And again, we provide all those materials for our franchisees, but just have it done. Like one of our great operators, he knew the holidays coming up. He would make all his social media stuff already and already put them already on the calendar to automatically go out. Right. Like that's the next level stuff that like makes your life so much easier and you're organized.
Right. And so we're going to be helping our franchisees understand that. If you're not, again, if you're a fitness facility just listening, that's why the calendar is so important. It's just going to get you majorly organized. So overall, guys, calendar wrap up. We've got internal marketing, external marketing, a charitable event if you want to do that in your community. You've got staff building or team building events. You've got client building events. Then you've got the actual calendar so you know when the holidays and things are coming up. But I hope that helps, Matt. That's perfect, man. Thanks for bringing this in. And this is right off of our playbook that we've been running for years and years. Very, very important that you have this. Again, we coach it and provide it to our franchisees and the collateral that goes with it.
Yeah.
If you're not a franchisee, you just need to be doing it to be successful and to stay organized.
Easy to forget, for sure.
Easy to forget. All right, Matt, I appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch up with you next time.
Thanks.
Bye.